Hello and welcome everyone to this another video of learning math. Today we are going to do the exercise of the concept that we learnt yesterday. These questions are given in the textbook. अगर आप CBSE NCERT बोर्ड में पढ़ते हैं और ज़्यादातर स्टेट बोर्ड स्कूल्स भी, even the state board schools, they use this syllabus. Alright, so if you need a revision of the concepts of the formula or some of the explanation for things, or how do you calculate perimeter of square, rectangle and triangle, and how do you manipulate that formula based on the question, I would recommend you watch the previous video in this series, that is 101. In this video we are going to solve the questions that are given in the textbook. Alright, so we'll start with figuring out. Okay, let me just So I have to be careful because alright, so we are going to start with question number 1. Let me just make sure the thickness is not too much. It is too much. Alright. Okay everyone, we'll start with the first question. The first question says find the missing terms. Okay, what are the missing terms? And A, the perimeter of a rectangle is 14 centimeter. Look at the unit. Okay, the perimeter is always in one dimension, that is centimeter. Area is in two dimension, that is centimeter square, and volume is in three dimensions, centimeter cube. We'll learn that when we come to it, but right now we'll focus on this question. So perimeter of a rectangle is given, that is 14 centimeter. Now the breadth is given as 2 centimeter. Now you need to find the length. Alright, so how will you do it? First of all, you must remember the formula for perimeter of a rectangle. What is the perimeter of a rectangle? Length plus breadth plus length plus breadth is equal to 14. This has been given to you. Alright, now we don't know the length, so L plus L, that gives you 2L, plus what is the breadth? Breadth is given as 2 centimeter. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 14. So 2L plus 2 plus 2, 4 is equal to 14. So far so good. Alright, now if you straight away remember the formula, that is twice of L plus B in bracket gives you 14 centimeter. If you remember it like this, you can straight away take this 2 over to this towards the right hand side, put it into division. That method is also correct. Okay, I think in majority of the schools, math teachers have this notorious reputation of asking students to use only method given by them. I mean, if you're looking to score marks, just massage the ego of your math teacher. By the way, math teachers have a giant ego, so just do what they ask you to do to score marks. But in mathematics, as long as the answer is correct and the application of the concept is correct, I don't see why different methods should cause problems. But we'll continue with this method. So this gives you 2L plus 4 is equal to 14. So this gives you 2L is equals to 14 minus 4, which is equal to 10. So L plus L is equal to 10. So L will be equal to 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5 centimeter. So the length over here is 5 centimeter. Alright. You must learn the manipulation. If there is an equal to, okay, if there is an LHS and if there is an RHS. Okay, I don't think a lot of teachers teach this to students in class because they don't think of this as an individual concept, but a lot of students have confusion regarding LHS and RHS. So if there is an LHS, you can shift things from LHS to RHS, but the sign would be changed. Okay, if there is something that is in addition over here, when you change the sign and bring it to a left hand side, it comes as negative. So simply just change. If something is in multiplication, it changes to division. If something is in division, it changes to multiplication. Alright, so here our length is equal to 5 centimeter. Let's look at question number 2. I'm going to erase this. So if there are students who need to copy this down, you can pause the video and copy it. Okay. All right, people, let's come to the second question. I think a lot of students think of this or think of math as a difficult subject, but it's not really, especially people from our country. We gave mathematics to the humanity. How can we be bad at math? All right, let's go to question number B. So perimeter of a square is 20 centimeter. So what is the side of a length? I mean, they're asking basically what is the measurement of the length. So we all know that n square, all the four sides are equal. Forgive my drawing, I'm not very good at drawing. So if let's say this is L, this becomes L, this becomes L, this becomes L. So far so good. We agree that in a square all the sides are equal. Okay, so if all the sides are equal, can I write this as L plus L plus L plus L is equal to 20? This is something that is given to me in the question. I have not made this thing up. So L plus L plus L, so this is 1L, 2L, 3L, 4L. So L plus L plus L plus L, 4 times L is 4L is equal to 20 centimeter. Okay, so L is equal to 20 divided by 4. Remember what I said earlier, if something is in multiplication over here, if you change its side, okay, if there is an equality in between, this is left hand side, this is right hand side. Okay, so if something is in multiplication over here, if you change the side, it goes into division. So since 4 was in multiplication over here, when I changed its side from LHS to RHS, now it is in division, and 4 5s are, so 5 centimeter. So now for the square, the perimeter of square was 20 and the length is 5. So if you add 5, 5, 5, 5, you'll get 20. Let's move on to the next question, that is C. C is the same. Perimeter of a rectangle is 12 centimeter. Okay, let me just draw a rectangle. Forgive my drawing once again. Okay, now the length is 3. This is 3. This is 3. Obviously, we have learned this in the previous video that in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So if length, this is 3, this is 3, and this is breadth, and this is breadth. We don't know how much it is. We need to find. But the perimeter is given to us, that is 12 meter. Alright, this is given to us, that perimeter is 12 meter. So can I write it as 3 plus B plus again 3 plus again B will give me 12 meter. Okay, so 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2B is equal to 12. So far so good. Again, now 6 over here is in addition. Remember, always remember this, LHS is equal to RHS. So if something is in addition over here, if I switch sides, it will go as subtraction. So can I write this as 2B remains the same? Okay, equality remains the same, 2B remains the same. Now I'm putting 6 on this side. So that should give me as 12 minus 6. So 2B is equal to 12 minus 6 is 6. Again, I'll keep equal to the way it is. I'll keep 6 the way it is. I'll keep B the way it is. Now 2 over here is in multiplication. So if something is in multiplication as LHS, it could be anything. Now if I am switching over the sides, okay, अगर मैं उनकी side change कर रहा हूँ, तो इधर आके वो division में हो जाएगा. It will come into division. So 6 divided by 2, which should give you 3. So the breadth over here is also 3, and this is also 3. Oh, then I think we shouldn't call this as a rectangle. This is a square. Okay, if length is 3, length is 3, 3 plus 3 6. We calculated 2b, 12 minus 6 is 6, 2 3s are 6. So this turned out to be a square as well. I hope this is clear. Now we move on to question number 2. Let's see. देखते हैं हम आगे. Let's I fancy a little bit of change in color. Let's go for orange. Okay, let's see how tangy. Now we are doing this that is question number 2. A rectangle having side lengths 5 and 3 is made using a piece of wire. If the wire is straightened and then bent to form a square, what will be the length of side of a square? Now over here, a rectangle, I don't know how this happened. Yes, over here a rectangle is getting transformed into a square. Okay, now this rectangle has 5, 5, 3, 3. Okay, is made using a piece of wire. Now there was a piece of wire and this is how a rectangle was already there. Now what they did was they straightened out this. Now this is 5, again 3, again 5 and again 3. So पूरा rectangle को खोल दिया, पूरा wire को सीधा कर दिया. Okay, and then again after straightening out it was made into a square. इसको straighten out करने के बाद इसको वापस fold कर दिया गया to make a square. Now we need to find out what will be the length of this side of a square. So one thing I can tell you, one thing we can assure is the perimeter of both the shapes will be equal. That is, let me explain this concept a little bit, because since this was a wire and you unfolded it into a straight line, okay, now you're again refolding it into making it, by making it into a square. So the perimeter remains the same. Okay, so let's first find out the perimeter. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? That is 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. So it gives you 8 plus 8, that is 16 centimeter. This is the perimeter of rectangle. Now the same perimeter is the perimeter of the square as well, because हमने इसमें से इसको बनाया है from rectangle to square. But the property of the square is that all the sides are always equal. So let this be L, let this be L, let this be L, let this be L. Now what is the perimeter of square? L plus L plus L plus L is equal to, we know it should be 16 because it has been made from rectangle into a square. So 4L is equal to 16. Again, equal to remains the same, 16 remains the same, L remains the same. Now that I'm moving this 4 from LHS to RHS, it is in multiplication over here. So when it goes to RHS, it converts into a division. So 16 divided by 4, that is 4 4s are, so L becomes 4. Okay, so the length of the side of the square is 4. I hope the concept was clear. You can pause the video, again watch it with the explanation. We are moving on to question number 3. Let's go to question number 3. Now here we come to triangle. Find the length of the third side of a triangle having a perimeter of this and having two sides as this. So first of all, if you are confused in such questions, always draw a rough diagram first. There are a lot of teachers out there who insist in construction, in geometry and many other questions that if you are struggling with questions in geometry or in shapes or in perimeter and area questions, always make it a point to draw a rough diagram, because it will help you visualize. In mathematics, it will help if you have a good imagination, if you have good visualization. So in question number 3, they have said that the two sides of a triangle, one of them is 20, another one is 14. Okay. Now the entire perimeter of a triangle is 55 centimeter. Okay, so the entire perimeter of this triangle is 55. Now we know from definition, perimeter is basically addition of all sides. Now let this third side be x. So far so good. So what I can do is, I can put an equal to in between. On the left hand side, I know that if I add all these sides, 20 plus 14 plus x, it should be equal to 55, because this is given in the question that the perimeter is 55. So here I placed an equal to, And on the left hand side, I've simply just written the addition. 20 plus 14 plus x should be equal to 55. Now 20 plus 14 is 34 plus x. Okay, 4, 2 plus 1, 3, 34 plus x is 55. So far so good. Now I'll again place an equal to. Now the reason why I place the equal to first is students usually get confused. Like, how did these things happen? So equal to remains equal to, 55 remains in its place. Okay, all I am doing is taking 34 towards right hand side. X remains here as well. Now 34 over here had a positive sign. So if it is moving from LHS to RHS, it will have a negative sign. Okay, so this should give you 5 minus 4, 1, 5 minus 3, 2. So x should be equal to 21. So the third side of the triangle is 21. This was question number 3. Pause the video if you need to understand it a better way. We move ahead to question number 4. Let's go to question number 4. Let me switch to pen. Yep. Question number 4 over here. Now this is something that they will ask in question. Usually इसी टाइप के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे आपके स्कूल के एग्जाम में, भी वो क्लास टेस्ट हो या हाफ ईयरली हो या लास्ट क्या बोलते हैं, व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड, आई थिंक टर्मिनल एग्जाम और फाइनल एग्जाम और फुल सिलेबस एग्जाम. What would be the cost of fencing a rectangular park whose length is this and breadth is this? For those of you who are watching this for the first time, उन्होंने पिछला वीडियो नहीं देखा है, ऐसा एग्जैक्ट सेम क्वेश्चन हमने फॉर्मूला वाले और एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो में कवर किया है, बट शॉर्ट में आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू. सो दिस इज 150, this is 150 meters, of course, 150 meters, this is 120 meters, and this is 120 meters. Okay, now this is basically a park and you want to fence this park. This is the question, that they want to fence this park. So what should be the length, or what should be the measurement of the fence that is required? If you thought about perimeter, yes, you are exactly right. The length of the fence that is required would be simply the perimeter. So let's just calculate the perimeter. That is 150 plus 120 plus 150 plus 120. Okay, so over here 150 plus 150 is 300, 120 plus 150 120 plus 120 is 240. So 300 plus 240 is 540 meters. So this is the total length. Okay, now what is the cost of fence? It is given in the question that the fence costs rupees 40 per meter. All right, so 40 per meter fence, for example, if for each meter, for 1 meter you must pay 40 rupees. So for 540 meters, how much will you pay? So it's a simple direct proportion. Okay, so 540 multiplied by 40. So whenever you have a multiplication that has zeros, you need not multiply the zeros, you can simply just add it towards the end. So 4 4s are 16, 4 5s are 20, 20 plus 1, 21, 0 0. So this fellow will have to spend 21,600 rupees to fence the park. For those of you, again, you can simply just pause the video, rewind or rewatch. I'll just keep moving further in the exercise. All right, now we come to question number 5th. One common observation that I've seen amongst students is they will not read the question carefully. Usually when students struggle with solving word problems, it's not a mathematical or a logical problem. It's not that they have not understand the concept properly, or it's not that they have not logically understood the concept of addition, percentage, so on and so forth. In most of the cases, it's about language. They have not understood the question properly. So for those students who struggle with understanding the questions, I would recommend you please read the question twice, thrice, or how many times you need to. Okay, so first of all, it is always important to make sense of the question. What exactly is being asked? So we'll read question number 5. A piece of string is 36 centimeter long. Okay, there is a string that is 36 centimeter long. What will be the length of each side if it is used to form a square? Okay, so there is a string. This string is 36 centimeter long. Now I'm folding this string to make a square. Okay, so the square will have, let's say, length of L, 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 L. All the sides in a square have equal measurement. Okay, so I can write this. Now one thing is, if you folded this into a square, the perimeter must equal 36 centimeter. Perimeter itna hona chahiye because the total length of the thread is 36. So what I can do is, I'll put an equal to in between. Now on both the sides of equal to, I must place things that have equal value. Okay, so what will be the perimeter of this square? That is L plus L plus L plus L. So if I'm placing this on the left hand side, what shall I place on the right hand side? The value of the perimeter that is given, that is 36. Okay, this equality is a very potent weapon. If you understand it properly, I think 40% of the mathematics becomes easy for you. There should be a separate chapter about how to manage equalities. Let's see if I can cover this on my YouTube channel or not. Alright, but right now we'll focus on this. So L plus L plus L, we have 4 L's. So 4L is equal to 36. Again, I'll place equal to, 36 remains where it is, L remains where it is. Now 4 over here is in multiplication. So if I change the sides in equality, it goes to division. So this is 9. So 9 centimeter will be the side of will be the length of each side if you take a string of 36 centimeter and make it into a square. Alright, there is a second part to this question as well. Let's see if we can solve it. A triangle with all sides of equal length. Let's see, there is a triangle. Now all sides are equal. I'll again place an equal sign or equality in between. What shall I write on the left hand side? L plus L plus L. That will be the perimeter. Now since you are using the same string of 36 centimeter, the perimeter also should be equal to 36. Now I've written a line, I've placed an equality. On the left hand side I've kept this, on the right hand side I've kept this. Both of them should be equal in magnitude. Now 3L is 36. Okay, equality remains the same, 36 remains the same, L remains the same. Now 3 over here is in multiplication. If I switch sides, it goes into division. This gives you 12. So this is 12 centimeter. I hope this is visible above the camera. I'll write it over here, 12 centimeter. Very simple. Simply just use the equality and manipulate it properly, and you'll always end up with a correct answer. There's also a C part. So let me just go to the C. I'll erase this. So if you need to, you can pause the video and look at it again. Let us come to the C part. A hexagon. Hexa means 6. So there are total 6 sides. A 6-sided closed figure with sides of equal length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 sides. L, 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 L. When you come to the higher grades, you'll study this is a benzene. Okay, if you know those bonds, it's benzene. But we'll come to it later. Right now, there are 6 sides. All of them are equal, so I've named them as L. So I'll put an equality sign. On the left hand side I need to keep something, on the right hand side I need to keep something, and both of them must be equal in magnitude or must be equal in their value. So on the left hand side I'm keeping the perimeter, that is L plus L plus L plus L plus L plus L. 6 times L, so that should give me the perimeter of this hexagon. And how long is the string? That is 36. So 6 times L, 6L is equal to 36, equal to 36. L remains the way it is. 6 changes side, so it comes into division. 6 6 that is 6 centimeter. So this should be it. Alright guys, we move to question number 6. Alright, let's come to question number 6. A farmer has a rectangular field having a length of 230 meter and breadth 160 meter. So it's basically a rectangle like this. So this is 230, this is 160, this is 230, this is 160. Again, he wants to fence it with 3 rounds of rope as shown. What is the total length of rope required? So you need to, first of all, he needs to fence it with 3 rounds of rope. Okay, so if you need to fence something, what is the total quantity or the total length required? It's basically perimeter. How do you find the perimeter? You add all the sides. That is 230 plus 160 plus 230 plus 160. Okay, so 230 plus 230 should give you 460. 160 plus 160 should give you 320. You simply add them. 8 780. So it is 780 meter of rope will be required for 1 round. Now the farmer over here, he doesn't feel safe. For safety and for raising the wall, he must place 3 rounds. So simply just multiply this by 3. That should give you 8 3s are 24, 7 3s are 21, 21 plus 2, 23, and you add the 0. So this is the length that he will need to fence his field. That's it for this video. Okay, so with this we have reached the end of this video. I'm also going to start another series for students of quantitative aptitude. So there are a variety of exams that ask you mathematics in the form of quantitative aptitude. It could be civil services, it could be state PSC exams, it could be CAT, it could be GRE, SAT. Okay, so we are also going to start a new video series in which I will be solving questions from R.S. Agarwal. R.S. Agarwal is the most basic or the foundation book of having of solving questions of mathematics if you appearing for all the exams that I just mentioned. Okay, so I'm going to start a separate series and we are going to solve each and every MCQ in that book, and that should be of help for people who are preparing or aspiring to clear those exams. Thank you for watching. You can also check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.